Life ain't easy for a lot of us out here. Some of why y'all been bullied, some of why y'all stressed out, some folks walking around with all kinds of insecurities. Some folks are fat and overweight, and this damn world just loves to pile on more bullshit in your head. And it ain't just you doing it. Yeah, you help it, but the whole damn system is set up to fuck with your mind. That's why I had to build a mindset that was unbreakable. I had to armor plate my mind. It ain't just about what you tell yourself, it's about what you do with it too. Whenever life was kicking my ass physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever I had to dig deep and remind myself, you can't hurt me, I kept telling myself that over and over until it became my truth. That's where it all comes from. I believe most people are just letting their minds run the show. We're all living at about 40% of what we can really do. The mind is like a car with a governor on it. You might be driving and the car says it can go 130 miles per hour, but the governor is set at 91. You hit 91 and the car starts shaking, but it wants to go faster, it wants to push further. But that damn factory said, nah, we ain't going past 91, that's how our minds work too. We got this built-in governor in our brains, a survival mechanism that keeps us from pain and suffering. The second we start feeling that shit, our mind is like, oh hell no, this ain't fun. Let's back off, sit down, and find something easy. And here's the thing about the mind. The mind has the tactical advantage over you all the damn time. No matter where you're at in life, your mind is always one step ahead, knowing exactly what you're afraid of, knowing all your insecurities, and knowing those deep, dark lies you tell yourself. And it uses that knowledge to push you away from the hard shit. It nudges you toward comfort, away from anything that might make you feel vulnerable or exposed. The mind is running the show, controlling everything. So when I was growing up, getting fat as hell, tipping the scales at 300 pounds, drowning in insecurities, I started to see how my mind kept dragging me in that same comfortable direction. Every time things got uncomfortable, every time I faced my fears or my insecurities, my mind was like, nah, we got the tactical advantage here. Let's pull you away from this pain, away from this shit that's making you feel weak. Life is all about feelings, right? We crave that happy feeling and we run from anything that makes us ask, why the fuck am I here? This sucks. And when you don't have the answers to those tough ass questions, you bail. You retreat back to comfort. But I started realizing that if in those moments of doubt and discomfort, you can stand up to those fucked up questions. If you can take control of your mind instead of letting it control you, that's where the real power comes from. That's where the 40% rule comes in. When you hit that 40% mark, your brain is screaming, we're done, man. Let's roll out. This shit is painful, it's uncomfortable. So you shut your ass down and quit. But that's just your mind trying to keep you in check. The real challenge is pushing past that, taking back control and telling your mind, fuck you, we're going further. You got to figure out your own way. Everyone's different. And that's what I'm getting at. All that bullshit you hear about 5 steps to this or 4 steps to that, it's all just noise. It ain't about some cookie cutter formula. It's about putting into practice, building the habit day in and day out. So when you know that at 40%, you start feeling that pain, when you're in that wall, that's when the 40% rule comes into play. Your mind will try to convince you that 40% is all you got. And you'll start believing that shit because your mind runs the show. But that's exactly when you got to take control back. You got to push yourself, say, all right, let me see if I can hit 45. And once you start giving yourself a little more hope, pushing just a bit further, your mind will start freaking out like, wait a minute, what the hell are you doing? We're supposed to be staying in our lane, playing it safe. But when you start pushing beyond what your mind says, you'll start finding more strength in yourself than you ever knew was there. That's how you move from 40% to way past it. But that's just the beginning though. You got to reach that point where your mind is screaming, stop, and you decide, hell no, we're going further. That's when that shit starts working for you. You got to learn to control yourself in that exact moment if you want to start living with yourself in a real way. First off, a lot of people can look in the mirror and lie to themselves saying, I'm okay with being scared. I'm okay with taking this easy ass highway over here. That easy road got all those damn signs and directions telling you exactly how to get by without much effort. But you got to get uncomfortable with yourself, with that voice inside that most of us like to run from. We all have it. That voice that whispers, you know you're punking out right now. You're being a little bitch. And a lot of folks just brush it off saying, it's all right, I'll just tell myself a little white lie and keep it moving. But that's where you're fucking up. You got to confront that voice, own up to it, and push past that bullshit if you ever want to be more than you are right now. First thing you got to do is face the real you, the real me. That's David Goggins. The real me is sitting here looking you dead in the eye thinking, I don't want to be on this damn show right now. Why? Because when I was a kid, I used to stutter, and I'm scared as hell that any minute now, I'm going to start tripping over my words, stammering and stuttering, and the whole world's going to see me for the fucked up mess I really am. But that's when Goggins steps in and says, all right, motherfucker, you got to do this shit. Get on this damn show. That's Goggins talking. Goggins is the voice in my head saying, David Goggins, stop being a little bitch. Life done beat you down, but we ain't living like this no more. We ain't living in fear. We ain't living in judgment. And we sure as hell ain't scared of what the fuck people are saying about us right now. That's Goggins. Goggins says, fuck all of why all who don't like me, who don't want to deal with me. And that's when that different person shows up. But before you can get to Goggins, you got to be David Goggins first and admit, man, I'm scared as fuck. I'm messed up. Life got me all twisted. I stutter, I struggle with reading and writing. I'm fat, I'm insecure. You got to face all that shit in that dark ass room. In that dark room, you come face to face with who you really are. But it's also in that dark room where you got to build another version of yourself, one that walks out of that darkness ready to face the world head on. That's the only way you're going to get over all that bullshit weighing you down. You got to create someone else, not like you got two split personalities, but you got to find that strength within yourself. And it's like I visualize myself cracking open and letting Goggins out, almost like Superman ripping off his cape, coming out a whole different beast, a person who doesn't give a fuck about anything, who's not afraid of being judged, who knows he's weak, who knows he's scared, but says, whatever you think about me, bring it. I'm still here, that's Goggins. When you step into that dark room, it's just you and yourself, no bullshit, no filters. You're forced to face the real you, all those flaws, all that weakness, all those insecurities you've been carrying around. You realize you don't want to keep being that weak, insecure person in the world, dealing with the same damn problems that everybody else is dealing with. And let's be real, we all got our shit. Social media, that's just a platform for folks to show you who they want to be, not who they really are. But that dark room, that's where the truth lives. And I've been in that dark place a lot. I fell back into the fucked up hole of life more times than I can count. Just when you think you've got it all figured out, you've overcome the struggle, you're standing on top of your own personal Everest, life hits you with, not today, motherfucker, knocks you right back down. Back in my junior year of high school, I was in a bad spot. I was missing school left and right, lying about everything, rocking a GPA that was damn near non-existent, like a 1 point something. My life was a mess. And to top it off, my mom was going through her own shit. She didn't have the time or energy to baby me through my problems. It was me against me straight up. I was walking around with my pants sagging down to my knees, looking all kinds of messed up. I wasn't in bad shape. I was in the worst shape. One day I went to the bathroom and I had this wild ass haircut because I was craving attention. I was all about getting people to notice me, doing whatever I could to stand out. I was in this mostly white school and some kids liked me, but a lot of them didn't. And I was like, fuck it, whatever. I was searching for something, acceptance, validation, who knows? So I dressed all crazy, rocking these ridiculous haircuts. Then I looked in the mirror and that reflection showed me all the ugly truth I'd been hiding behind those saggy ass pants. The mirror didn't lie. It showed me all the shit I was trying to cover up, all the pain I was pretending wasn't there. That's the dark room, the place where you can't run from yourself, where you got to face everything you've been trying to ignore. And it's in that moment, staring at the real you, that you decide if you're going to keep hiding or if you're going to step up and become something more. So I'm standing there looking at myself in the mirror thinking, damn, dude, you really went and turned yourself into something else. You created this whole ass character, trying to be the cool guy at the table, doing whatever it took to grab attention. But deep down, that wasn't me. That wasn't who I was inside. I was terrified for anybody to know the real me. So in that mirror, what I call the accountability mirror, I had to get real with myself. I had to admit some hard truths, like the fact that I had a 3rd grade reading level, which is some heavy shit to swallow when you're a junior in high school. I was copying off everybody's paper, cheating on every test because I was scared as hell they'd put me in some special ed class. And we all know what special really means. I was afraid I'd be stuck with that label for the rest of my life. And, you know, being cool doesn't come with a label. So I started cheating my way through thinking I was just dumb. People would say, oh, you've got a learning disability, but I knew deep down that wasn't the case. The truth was I was lazy as hell. And that day I called myself out on all of it. I didn't hold back. I was brutally honest with myself. I looked at myself, man. I really looked at myself. It was that day. And a few days after that, when I decided to get real with myself, every single day after school, I'd stand in front of that accountability mirror and ask, what am I going to do today to change what I see in this mirror? What's the move today? And a lot of that change started with me making some tough decisions. I stopped sitting with the cool kids. I showed up to school just as I was, no front, no fake persona. I said, this is me. If you don't like it, that's your problem. I had to really build a thick ass skin, a tough outer layer to deal with whatever folks were going to say about me. They could call me whatever the hell they wanted, but I had to wear that shit like armor. I wasn't trying to be a geek or some other label. They were going to see me for who I really was. I needed to change who I wasn't and let them see the real me, no matter what. Man, that accountability got real raw real quick. Over the years, I let myself go, got fat, and yeah, I called myself fat cause that's exactly what I was. See, a lot of folks don't want to do that. They want to sugarcoat it, saying, oh, don't call yourself fat. Don't say you're dumb. But if you ain't real and raw with who the fuck you are, ain't nothing going to change. We live in this soft ass world now where people want to say, you're just a little big nah, man. Call it what it is. You might be fat. And it's okay to tell yourself that. That's where it all started for me. It's raw, it gets ugly sometimes when I'm standing in front of that mirror, but I'm proud of it. I'm proud I can look at myself, call myself out, and then do the damn work to fix what I see. The first step is setting goals and being real about it. You got to call yourself out, no bullshit. Addressing it is just the beginning. It ain't like one day you wake up, snap your fingers, and suddenly you're great. Nah, it don't work like that, brother. You read my book, you know this is hard ass work. It's every damn day. Like right now, I got to be straight with you, man. I'm even shaking being on this show. I'm a big time introvert, and that shit ain't easy. So how do you handle it? You face it. You face it. You face that shit every single day. If you're fat, you need to lose weight. Own that. It's about patience, about accepting who you are right now. Yeah, I'm fat. I don't like myself, and that's okay. You lose 3 or 4 pounds, that's a huge win. You got to live in your own damn world. You can't be out here judging yourself based on this fake ass competition we see on social media, how people look, act, or how smart they seem. It's race. You're running it solo, all by yourself, and that's how it should be. I had sticky notes plastered all over my damn mirror, and it wasn't no shit like be better than John or run as fast as whoever. Nah, it was real talk. Like, David, yesterday you did this. Today, the goal for the week is this. I broke it all down, had yearly goals, weekly goals, daily goals, even hourly goals, and then the big ass goals. See, I lied a lot growing up. I wanted to be accepted, fit in, be somebody. So one of my goals was straight up, let's go one day without lying, just one damn day. And when I did lie to somebody, I'd make myself go back and own up to it. I'd say, hey man, I got to tell you something. I lied to you. Do you know how hard that shit is? To go back and look somebody in the eye and say, yo, back there, I lied to you. I was messed up, my bad dot. That's how I figured out the power of total raw accountability. Like this morning, I had to get my ass up and run before talking to you. Why? Because that's what I'm about. Mind, body, fitness, all that. A lot of folks out here talking big, saying they're going to change your life, do this and that, but are they accountable? Are they really holding themselves to the shit they're preaching? Me? I am. That's where it all started, total, no bullshit accountability. It wasn't just about not lying for a day. It was about telling people the truth about who the fuck I really am. No more hiding. No more faking it. Just the raw, unfiltered truth. When you can stand up and tell someone like I'm doing right now, just how fucked up you really are, that's when you know you've hit the real goal in life. Imagine putting your life on a damn billboard, right on the busiest highway in the world and saying, this is how fucked up I used to be. Take it or leave it. When you sit your ass down and really reflect on your life and you're sitting in that dark room, you got to face the ugly truth of where you started from. You tell yourself, damn, my mom's messed up. My dumbass stepdad got murdered. My pops beat the shit out of me. I can't read or write for shit. I've lied to everybody about it and I've cheated on every damn test. Damn, man. But then you start thinking about a goal. How the hell are you going to feel when you accomplish that goal? Coming from all that fucking mess? Coming from the hell you crawled out to? See, a lot of folks start with a good foundation. They had a nice setup from the jump. But what if you could surpass all those motherfuckers who started way up here? While you started down in the gutter with nothing. You had to grow some fucking legs just to stand up, then learn to crawl, then learn to walk, and finally start running. And then you start passing up people who had everything handed to them on a silver fucking platter. I had to take all that negative shit that was weighing me down, making me weak, and turn it into the fuel that now drives me. I had to flip that shit upside down and say, wait a minute, this might be exactly what I need. This darkness might be the key. It's all about how you look at your situation. And for a long time, I was looking at it all fucked up. You got to accept it before you can fix it. A lot of people walk around saying, oh, I'm good. I'm good. Nah, you ain't. You got to accept what you're not. You got to face that shit head on. But most people don't want to do that. That's the only way you're ever going to fix it. You have to own it first before you can even start the journey. But here's the kicker. A lot of folks never even start the damn journey. They're living in this fake ass life of who they want to be. They act like they got it all together, but they don't, because they ain't fixed the real shit yet. You got to fix that mess first before you can even think about starting your real journey in life. That's why I had to make that list. Fix these problems, get your shit together, and then your journey can truly begin. Because once you stop giving a damn about how people judge you, that's when you start moving forward. But as long as you care more about what others think, you're going to stay stuck right there, never moving, never growing. Ain't no progress until you let that shit go. So first off, focus on one thing at a time. Now look, you might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, and that's cool. Hell, I wasn't either. I had my own struggles, man. But the way I tackled that shit was by breaking it down. See, each flaw, every damn thing that's wrong with you, got to be your main focus one by one. You can't just stare at this long ass list of issues and be like, damn, I got to fix all this shit. Nah, this is going to drive you crazy. Here's what you do. Take the first issue off that list. Like, I want to get smarter for me. That was my big thing. I had to get my mind right. I was dealing with this hardcore learning disability, couldn't retain shit. So I had to zone in on that one problem and figure out how the hell I was going to beat it. I ain't going to learn like you or anybody else for that matter. I had to figure out my own way. So I started thinking, all right, what am I good at? Where do I suck when it comes to learning? And from there, I began to strategize. Even now, if I got to study a big ass manual, I ain't just reading it. I'm buying up a gang of spiral notebooks and rewriting every damn page by hand, maybe 10 times if I have to. Let me tell you, there was this 1,000-page dive manual I got my hands on 18 months before dive school even started. Most folks would look at that shit and think, I ain't smart enough to pass this test, but I knew better. I knew I wasn't smart, but I wasn't about to let that stop me. I thought, how the hell am I going to conquer this? How am I going to get over this obstacle? So I got that manual 18 months ahead of time because I knew it might take me that long to write out every damn page and drill it into my brain. So when test time rolled around, I could pull that answer up like, oh yeah, page 71. And I remember because I'd written it down so many damn times. That's how I did it. You got to break down each problem in life like that. Tackle them one by one. Don't stress yourself out trying to fix everything at once. Handle one thing at a time. And before you know it, you've knocked out a whole bunch of problems. But remember, it's all about that one focus. This is one of the realest things out there, man. Mediocrity is everywhere these days, and folks are always looking for the easy way out. We get caught up judging ourselves by comparing with others. Say there's 10 people in a room, and we're all mediocre as hell. But if I'm the best of the mediocre, I start thinking I'm the shit. Like I'm really doing something. But you ain't great just cause you're the best of the average. You got to keep grinding, keep strategizing, and keep focusing on leveling up. Man, we always be rolling with folks who make us feel real good. You know, they tell us what we want to hear, gassing us up all the time. But as soon as we step in with them uncommon folks, the ones who ain't afraid to push us, we ain't trying to feel that. We don't want to be around that cat who's up at 3:30 in the morning. Like, get your ass up. We hitting the pavement. Time for a run. Nah, that shit makes us uncomfortable. We'd rather chill with the dude who's like, man, I ain't feeling it today. And we all like, yeah, you're right, man. Let's kick back, grab some pizza, and watch the game. We love that vibe because it lets us off the hook. Makes us think we good, right where we at. But the truth is, we ain't trying to hear that tough love, that real talk like, yo, stop being a little bitch. Get your shit together and grind. We don't want that smoke in our lives. We ain't trying to be around nobody who's constantly counting out our weaknesses, pushing us to be better. Nah, we want to be around folks who make us feel safe in our bullshit. That's just that mediocre life, man. We want to be the best, but only amongst the average. Then folks wonder how you stay hungry all the time. Man, it's cause after I hit a goal, I don't just sit back and chill like some folks who graduate or whatever. They get all comfy and they start wondering, why am I getting soft? Why I lost my edge? It's cause once you hit the top of that fucking mountain, you think you're good. You think you can relax. But that's when you start slipping, man. See, once you reach the peak, you gotta start building another fucking mountain. Otherwise, you're stuck in that mediocre shit. And let me tell you, there's a lot of folks out here living in mediocrity. They might have a nice resume, but they're one-hit wonders, man. They did something big once, made some money, and now they think they're good. But really, they're just coasting now, sitting in that mediocre lane. So what you doing today? What about tomorrow? And the day after that, That's why I ain't listening to no theorists, no bullshit artists. I'm listening to the cat who's worn out, beat down, but still grinding. When they say, man, I'm fucking tired, and I ask, why? And they hit me with, cause tomorrow I got to do it all over again. The same shit that made me sick, made me hurt, made me want to quit. But I'm still going. That's the person with real knowledge. You gain that knowledge through suffering, through pushing past your limits. On the other side of that pain, that's where you find a world hardly anyone ever sees. It's a beautiful place. Cause that's where you truly find yourself. You ain't gonna find that over here where it's comfortable. You find it on the other side of all that pain and struggle. Just like that 100-mile race I was on, I ran it for a full 24 hours, no stopping. And when I finally dragged my ass to the other end of that damn race after 19 hours, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Damn, there's a whole other world out here that I never even laid eyes on. See, the world ain't just what you see, it's what's in your mind. And that's where all that mediocrity comes from. It's like a disease that spreads if you let it. Now, let's say there's someone up there, maybe a man, maybe a woman, whatever. They got this chart, see. And the moment you're born, they jotted down David Goggins, born February 17th, 1975. At 6 a.m., they know it all, right? They know exactly what the fuck you're meant to be. They know your full potential, every little detail of it. Fast forward to when you die and you roll up to what folks like to call heaven. I get there, maybe 300 pounds, retired from my job at Ecolab, just some regular ass job, nothing special. Then God looks at me and whips out that chart. And on that chart, it says, you were supposed to be a Navy SEAL, weigh 185 pounds, be one of the smartest people walking this earth. And so when I'm standing there like, hold up, that was supposed to be my life. That was my destiny. But here's the thing, most people think they can just pray on it, wish on it, and magically their life will turn out how it's supposed to. Nah, man, it doesn't work like that. I believe my mission in life is to outwork that damn chart. Whatever the fuck is written on that chart by the all-knowing power up there, I want to get to the end of it all and have that power look at me and say, I knew everything, but damn, I didn't see this coming. I didn't expect you to push this far. I want to feel that satisfaction to get to the other side of this world and have whoever's judging me say, you blew past every expectation I had for you. I had you at 185 pounds, thought you just hit the marks I set, but you wrote a whole new story. Lived a whole new life I didn't even see coming, but to do that, you got to dive deep into that sack of shit, face your demons and push past the surface. If you're not willing to go into that darkness, you ain't gonna find shit. You'll be stuck living on the surface, never knowing what you're truly capable of. So if there's really an end to this world and some judgment waiting for you, you might get up there and see that chart and it'll tell you straight up who the fuck you should have been. And then you're left to think, man, I could have lived a whole different life if I'd just been willing to suffer a little more, to face my fears and dive into that mess. But if you let fear and comfort hold you back, you'll be stuck forever wondering, what if? See, I'm all about visualizing. That's my thing. I'm a big believer in creating a whole world in my mind, a world that might not even exist yet. But to me, that shit is real as hell. Every damn day I'm pushing myself, going to war with my own mind, and you need tools to win that battle. For me, that's the tool I use, and that's what it's all about. I got this ability, I can see the end before the beginning even gets started. Let me tell you what that means. I can picture the finish line clear as day before I've even taken the first step. Like before I went to Buds, when I was busting my ass, shedding all that weight, I already saw myself walking across that stage at 191 pounds. That was the goal I had to hit just to get through the damn door. I could see myself 6 months, a year down the road. Whatever it was going to take, I saw myself crossing that stage and getting that certificate of graduation from Buds. And let me tell you, even when I was sitting at 300 fucking pounds, nowhere near that goal, I put myself in that moment every single damn day. And that feeling, man, just thinking about how amazing that shit was going to feel, that's what made all the suffering worth it. That's what made me say, I'll take on this pain, because that feeling at the end is worth every bit of it. For 18 long ass months, I went through hell just to get through buds. Most people do it in 6 months, but it took me 18. And every fucking morning I woke up with that same thought. I'm gonna put myself through all this pain and suffering just for a few seconds of pure joy. That's it. Just a few seconds. But those few seconds, man, they're worth it 1,000 times over. And that's what folks don't get. I can put myself at the finish line before I even start the race. I can feel that victory before I've even taken the first step, and that's what drives me. Visualizing is my secret weapon, the biggest tool I got in my life. That's how I can jump into cold ass water or run a 100-mile race, because I've already done it in my mind 1,000,000 times before I even lace up my shoes. I can tell you exactly how I'm going to feel at mile 50, almost down to the exact damn moment. But here's the thing, the most important conversation you'll ever have in your life is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you carry it with you all day, you go to bed with it. And eventually you're going to act on it, whether it's good or bad. You got to, there's no other way. That's why everything I've written, everything I'm about, it's all about you. It's about you figuring out who the hell you really are. So many people live their whole lives, 100 years even, and never fucking know who they are. Never. But you got to look in that mirror and realize there's so much more inside of you, man. There's a whole world in there just waiting for you to find it. See, I could have easily been that 300-pound dude still out here spraying for cockroaches day in and day out. That could have been my whole damn life if I didn't stop, look in that mirror and say, there's got to be more than this. This can't be it. But it ain't enough just to see it. You got to be willing to dive headfirst into that shit. Go all in and give every damn thing you've got to find what's on the other side. That's what it's all about, man. The one thing that made me who I am today, that shaped the man I've become, is being vulnerable as hell, breaking myself down to the bare bones, down to rock bottom, and being real with myself and others about who I truly am. That's how I fixed it. It's about being able to look someone in the eyes and say, you know what, man, I got a whole lot of character flaws. I've lied, I've cheated, I'm insecure as hell. The person you see ain't the real me. I've been faking it because I wanted your acceptance. I wanted to fit in. All that stuff happened, no doubt. But here's the thing. People are quick as hell to judge you for who you are right now without ever understanding how you got there. Life has a way of shaping us, man. Life created this messed up version of me that I used to be. And you know what? That's okay. It's not all my fault. But just because it ain't my fault, don't mean I ain't responsible for fixing it. I had to go back and repair that broken shit. A lot of the things we do, the way we feel, it ain't all on us. Sometimes life dealt us a fucked up hand. But let me tell you something, ain't nobody coming to save your ass. You gotta muster up the courage to go back to wherever that pain started, wherever that shit began, and start fixing what broke you. That's exactly what I had to do. I had to say, yeah, I'm fucked up, but I'm gonna go back and fix this shit. And the wild part about it is, when you start digging yourself out of that deep, dark hole, trying to better yourself, the people who were down there with you, the ones you call friends, they start pulling at your heels. They don't want to see you climb out. They're like, oh, hell no, get your ass back down here. You ain't about to leave us behind and make us feel like shit cause you're trying to get better. I get that all the time now. Folks love to remind me of who I used to be, trying to drag me back into that hole. They pop out of nowhere, out the woodworks, trying to pull me back down. But I ain't about that life anymore. I'm pushing forward no matter what. Not getting civilized, man, that's about keeping a savage mentality straight up. See, being civilized, that's when folks get too damn comfortable. It's like this cushy world they create around themselves. Take athletes, for example. You got these top tier athletes who've been at the peak of their game for 20 years, right? They hit 38, 39, and then they're like, I'm chilling now. I've done my time. But you see them a year later, and damn, what the hell happened? They look like a shadow of who they used to be. What the fuck? You were one of the greatest of all time. Kids, women, men of all ages, they looked up to you. You hit that pinnacle, and then your mind goes, I'm civilized now. Time to relax, man. The worst thing that could happen to any human being is to get civilized. It's about that total accountability. Even when you retire, there's still someone looking at you, judging you. Hell, I'm telling you, I was the baddest motherfucker alive. And that doesn't just go away. You got to wake up every day, even in retirement, knowing you're setting the example for the world to see. Being civilized, man, it feels so damn good. I get it. Once you get to the top, you might retire, but you can't ever truly go back to being just another dude. Now you're under the spotlight and people are watching you fall off. You don't want to be that guy who's like, yeah, I may be retired, but I'll be damned if anyone sees me looking like shit, feeling like shit, not staying on top of my game. People get this mentality like, I've arrived, I've made it. But nah, man, you're always setting the example. Civilization, that comfort, it feels good, no doubt. People crave that retirement life. They yearn for it, just like we all do. But here's the thing. Folks love slapping a label on me, saying, my God, man, you're just wired different. Nah, I ain't wired different, dude. You know what I'm thinking about right now? As soon as I got past all that stuttering shit, I'm good now, but you know what's on my mind? I got to wake up tomorrow and do the same damn thing again. I got to leave this interview and stretch out for 2.5 hours. I hate that shit. But you know what it does? It keeps me hardening over that victim mentality I used to have growing up. Every single day, you got to do this shit. Why? Because if you stop, you don't just stay where you are. You don't just maintain it. It's like shooting a gun. If you don't keep practicing, you're not going to be a great shot if you pick it up a year from now. The only way to keep from getting rusty is to keep working that machine, to keep challenging it every day. That machine is your mind, your body, your spirit. You got to keep it sharp, keep it savage every damn day. When I started this journey years ago, working on myself, I made a choice. I realized I was going to be somebody, and I wasn't just chasing success or status. Nah, I was searching for a feeling of true victory, a win that was just for me and nobody else. The moment I blocked out the noise, shut out the whole damn world, that's when it hit me. I'm in this world alone. I'm running this race solo. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about people, all about the team, all that good shit. But at the end of the day, it's about me. Right now in this chapter of my life, it's like you said, no one really knows the truth about me. They don't know how hard I really go. And you know what? I don't give a damn if anybody knows. I don't want them to. I'm an introvert now. I live this introverted life and I fucking love it. That right there, that's my fuel. Knowing that there ain't nobody out there grinding like me. And if there is, well, shit, let me find out. Cause if I know you're out there, I'm going to make sure I up my game. That's what my mentality is all about. It's a whole mindset thing. I look at myself like I'm the weakest person on earth. And that's where I start. You got to embrace your insecurities, man. My goal in life was to make myself believe I'm the hardest man alive. That's where Can't Hurt Me comes from. It's about whatever you think you are. You got to make that dream a reality. But that's where the real work begins, turning that dream into something real. That's where people start asking, how the hell do you keep grinding every day? Well, you got to use those insecurities, those fears. When I was 300 pounds, I didn't have any drive. I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. What kind of dumbass shit is that? 300 pounds talking about becoming a SEAL. It wasn't like I had this burning desire to be a SEAL. I was just an insecure, lying kid, scared as hell. I had to stare my insecurities and fears in the face and find drive in that. We're all out here looking for passion, right? But passion ain't something you got to search for. It's all around you. You got a whole damn stack of it just sitting there waiting. It's in your insecurities and all that shit you're afraid to face. You got to dive deep into that mess because that's where the energy and fuel you need is hiding. It's all inside you. You got so much to overcome. But that's where I found it. I found that drive right there in my insecurities. And let me tell you, when you can find drive in your own doubt, fear, and insecurities, you become fucking unstoppable. I used to hate when people didn't like me. One of the hardest things in the world for me when I was younger was, my God, I just want to fit in. I want you to like me. That's a shitty place to be, man. Because you lose yourself trying to fit in with people who are no better than you. You end up doing whatever it takes to fit in, and that's a dangerous game. You lose yourself trying to create a character that others will accept. But you know what? I found joy in finally saying, this is me, this is who I am. I speak in the third person sometimes. I'm fucked up, I got some shit going on. And I'm still working on myself. Take it or leave it. You don't like me? Well, take a number and get in line, because I'm not here to please you. I'm here to be real. And that's all that matters. Now, I've been journaling for years now, and I should have brought my journal with me, man. I mean, I got a whole stack of them little green military notebooks. I write down my day, every damn detail. And what I do, I go back and study that day. Like sometimes I might be feeling sick. Maybe I overtrained. Maybe I gained a couple pounds, or I'm just feeling off. And that journal, man, it's like my accountability check. It's my record of what I'm doing with my life, physically, mentally, all of it. I even kept an eating journal, tracking all the bullshit I put in my body. It helps me go back and study myself. I'm a damn lab rat, experimenting on my own life. When I'm feeling messed up, I can flip back and be like, all right, what the hell did I do last week? And you know what? 9 times out of 10, I can figure out where I messed up. I look at how much I'm traveling, how much I'm sleeping, how much I'm grinding, all that. Through journaling, man, you can really start to see where you're screwing up in life and what you need to fix about yourself. But you can't bullshit in that journal, though. It's got to be real. You got to write down, hey, today I messed up here. Today I should have been a better person, and not just saying it, actually try to fix it tomorrow. I'm always telling my fiance, be proud of yourself. Every day I'm having that conversation with myself. I can't get away from who the fuck I am. Who I am is who I'm proud of. I'm damn proud of the hardworking, calloused hands, calloused mind human being that I built from the ground up. With a lot of help from above, sure, but I made this person, that voice in my head that kept telling me, nah, you can't hide from this shit forever. I listened to it. I let it guide me. And the only way to set the example is to always be willing to put in the work. I don't follow people who just talk about what they used to do. I don't give a damn what you did back in the day. I care about what you're doing now. You might not be that same person anymore, but what are you doing today to keep pushing forward? There's so many folks out here running their mouths. All this talk about what you should be doing, how you should be living, and I look at them like, man, you out of shape, you looking like shit, and you trying to tell me how to live. Nah, I'm not listening to you. There's too many people just talking bullshit. And that's what used to piss me off in the military. All that talk, but I didn't see the real suffering behind it. That's why people say, man, you talk with so much passion. It's because I've been to that real place. It sucks to wake up early as hell when it's raining cats and dogs and still lace up your shoes to go run. But guess what? I got my ass up and ran. That's the difference. A lot of folks out here got that woe is me mentality, always feeling sorry for themselves. They're quick to throw up their hands saying it's too hard, life ain't fair. Why is everything so damn tough for me? They look around comparing themselves to others. Like if you're a woman, you might be thinking she's skinny and she don't even work out as hard as I do, and before you know it, your mind is all messed up, corrupted by that bullshit. You start paying too much attention to what everyone else is doing, and it just poisons your own thoughts. See, the problem is we out here judging ourselves against too many damn people. But here's the truth, you gotta judge yourself against yourself. That's the real lesson I had to learn, man. This ain't a race between me and the next person. It ain't about me versus some other dude. Nah, this is a race between me and me alone. Once you can shut down all that noise, all the outside distractions, and stop letting your mind get pulled in every direction, that's when you can start to grow. You realize, man, I'm stressing out over nothing. This is my race, my timeline. I'm running it my way. That's why it was so important for me to stop being all those fake ass people I used to be. Stop being scared. I didn't see no growth until I stripped myself down to nothing. Got to the core of who I really am, the real human being under all that mess. Once I found out who I truly was, that's when I started to grow. Before that, I was trying to build on top of a fucked up foundation, and you can't build shit on a weak foundation. I had to dig down to the real raw soil of who I was. That's when real growth happens. Now, one of the most powerful tools I got, man, is my cookie jar. Even the toughest folks out there forget how badass they are sometimes. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and when you're in the thick of a hard time, it's easy to forget all the other tough shit you've already survived. That's what the cookie jar is for. It's a reminder that, yo, I've been through worse and I can get through this too, but you got to take a moment, dig into that mental cookie jar and remind yourself. Like back in the day, my mom used to have this jar full of Oreos or Chips Ahoy or whatever, and that's where I got the idea of the cookie jar from. You got to open that jar up and say, all right, man, I made it through 3 hell weeks and survived 2 of them. I went through Ranger School, took all that bullshit, heard the slurs, saw beatings. I watched my mom's fiance get murdered, saw a little kid get hit by a car, some real fucked up shit. I have to remind myself of all that strength I've built up, that power that's in me. It's just a reminder of how much of a badass you are, especially in those hard times, because, you know, we tend to forget that rough moment you're in. It takes over your mind and you forget who the hell you are if you ain't careful. And when you're willing to suffer and dive back into the grind, that's when you really start talking to your mind. That internal dialogue you have with yourself when you're in pain, when you're uncomfortable, that's the real unfiltered you talking. No bullshit, no lies, just you facing yourself. Folks know what I'm talking about. When you're in a dark place, your mind starts saying all kinds of wild shit. That's who you really are. Ain't no Rocky Balboa moment where you're hyping yourself up. Like, come on, we got this. Nah, it's more like, fuck this, I'm out to here. That's where the growth happens. When you can stay in that moment, talk yourself through it, and keep pushing through the suck of whatever you're going through. When you start stripping away those layers, digging deep into who you really are, you're also building some thick-ass calluses in your mind. That's where the real growth kicks in. When you force yourself to stay in the grind, even when every part of you is screaming to tap out. You can't just walk away from it. You got to stay locked in. That's what I'm always talking about, winning that battle first thing in the morning. Every damn morning, I wake up ready to go to war with myself. Some folks ask me, why do you always say that? It's because when you wake up, there's a whole bunch of shit you can control, and that sets the tone for the rest of your day. It's about handling your business. Make your bed, clean your space, get your breakfast, shower, shave, whatever your routine is. Make sure you do it right. Don't hit that damn snooze button. It might sound small, but it's critical. That's been preached a lot, but here's why it matters when you hit that snooze button. You're waking up already losing. You're already behind, playing catch up. What happens when you hit that snooze? You might not make your bed. You might skip on grooming yourself the way you want. You might just throw on any old clothes. But think back, remember when you had a big job interview lined up. We've all had a few of those in our lives. What did you do the night before? You prepped like your life depended on it. You had your breakfast set out, coffee cup ready, clothes ironed and laid out. You practiced, you rehearsed, you made sure you were on point. You showed up as your best self because you wanted to land that job. And then boom, you got the job. But after a few months, you started to slack off. You ain't laying out your clothes no more. You're hitting the snooze button, rolling out of bed last minute. You realize you could keep that job without bringing your A game. The version of you that nailed that interview, that person starts to fade away. You still got the job, but the best version of yourself, that's gone. So when that alarm goes off in the morning, it's your first fight of the day. You win that fight and you take control. Because once you step out that door, the world is coming at you from all sides. That's why I don't mess around with checking my phone first thing in the morning. Most people do that. They wake up, grab their phone, start scrolling. And you might see some bad news and boom, your day's off to a shitty start. You're stuck in your phone. You didn't hit the gym, didn't make your bed, didn't do shit to set yourself up right. Now you've lost control before the day even begins. But when you win that morning battle, when you get up, handle your business, take care of what you can control, you step outside already winning. The day might throw all kinds of shit at you. You might lose your job, get hit with some bad news, but you've already claimed a victory. You're going into battle with a win under your belt. But if you hit that snooze button, you step outside already defeated. You're behind the curve before the day even starts. But if you win that first battle, you feel better, stronger, more capable of handling whatever the day throws your way. This is the kind of mindset you got to carry with you every damn day, no matter where you at or what you do. You got to win what you can when you can. For me, it all starts with preparing my mind. Every single night, like clockwork, I stretch out for 2, sometimes 3 hours, no matter what. While I'm stretching, I'm already plotting out the next day, thinking through every possible obstacle that might come my way. See, a lot of folks out here just wake up and roll with whatever the day throws at them, hoping life just happens the way they want. But life's going to happen whether you're ready or not. The question is, are you stepping into it with a prepared mind or an unprepared mind? Most people attack life with no damn plan, just winging it. And that's where they get caught up. What I do is try to anticipate every possible thing that could go down, what might happen, what probably will happen, and even the shit I can't predict. Now, I ain't saying you can be ready for every single thing, cause life will always throw some wild cards at you. But I do know I need to be ready for whatever might come. I know damn well I ain't gonna feel like working out tomorrow. Hell, I already know that. So I'm prepping my mind for it now. I know tomorrow's gonna bring some tough decisions, maybe even some bad news, a phone call telling me somebody I care about is gone, or some other shit I didn't see coming. I'm always bracing myself, not in some grim, dark way, but in a way that says, look, man, be ready for life. Don't just let life start swinging at you from all angles. You gotta start building that mental armor so you're ready when life comes at you. And yeah, that mental strength comes from physical work too, body and mind working together. Now, Here's the thing. It's funny as hell how everybody's always throwing out these cute little catchphrases like, challenge yourself to fail, or failure is part of life, and all that bullshit. I've said some of that stuff before, but for real, it's just a bunch of empty words. I'm sick and tired of hearing all these cliche-ass motivational quotes and posters. Most of the people writing that shit ain't even living it. Half these folks talking about failure and growth are sitting pretty in their $1,000,000 homes, sipping on some fancy-ass drink. What the fuck do they know about failure? That shit drives me crazy. The reason I feel like I can speak on failure is because I'm still out here failing. And I'm failing in a big way. I'm out here living what I'm preaching, not just talking about it from some cushy spot. A lot of these folks talking all that shit are stuck in the past, talking about what they used to do, how they were back in the day. But the real question is, are you still living it today? Because if you ain't, then all that talk don't mean a damn thing. Failure, man, is something you got to be afraid of. It's real, and it's something that should shake you up. But here's the twist, kid, because you're scared of it. That's exactly why you should push yourself to fail. If you're out here breezing through life, not hitting any walls, not stumbling, not fucking up, that means your goals ain't high enough. You're playing it safe, steady shit up so you can win all the time. But that ain't growth, that's stagnation. So for me, I'm always chasing something damn near impossible. Like when I decided I was gonna break the Guinness World Record for pull-ups. Now that's a high bar. I failed that shit twice before I finally nailed it on the third try. Same with Navy SEAL training. I went through that hell 3 times before I made it. And every single time I set out on these challenges, I knew there was a big ass chance I'd fail. But you know what I learned from that failure? I learned how to crave that feeling of finally getting over the hump. You ever watch a movie where the main character just keeps failing and failing, but at the end they finally make it? How do you feel when you see that? That shit hits you deep, right? I started to put myself in that mindset like, damn, how amazing must it feel to finally succeed after getting knocked down over and over again? That's what failure does to me. I've seen so many stories of people finally making it, and I'm like, I want that feeling, but you don't get that feeling without first going through the grinder, without failing again and again. If you're just cruising through, winning all the time, you don't get that same high. You don't appreciate it as much. But when it takes you months, even years, to get something right, when you've been grinding and struggling, that feeling when you finally make it is on another level. It's like cracking a code, trying over and over, failing over and over, and then finally you figure it out. You start to feel that victory coming even before it happens. And when it does, man, that feeling is unreal. And that's what I live for. But that feeling only comes after I've been through some serious shit. I failed at this, failed at that, failed again, but then I start to see the pieces coming together. And once I finally succeed, that feeling is so damn sweet. I stash it away in my mental cookie jar. Because I know there's going to be a time down the road where I'll need to reach back into that jar, pull out that feeling and remind myself, yeah, I've been through this before, I got this. Man, nowadays it seems like men and women are almost the same. I see women carrying their own bags, opening their own doors. It's like the world has blended into one big person. No more customs, no more courtesies, just everybody out for themselves. Like the moment the airplane parks, everyone's up in a rush, not even stopping to ask the person next to them, hey, is this your bag? It's the little things, man, the small acts of discipline that seem to be slipping away. All these small disciplines, they add up. It's about respect, about looking out for one another and keeping yourself in check. We've lost that in a lot of ways and it shows. But those small disciplines, those little acts, they're important. They shape who you are, how you move through the world, and how you handle yourself when shit gets real. We out here rushing like we ain't got no damn time, man. Folks ain't even holding doors for each other no more. It's them little things, them small disciplines that folks don't pay attention to. Why you even bother making your bed in the morning? I remember back when I was in the military, I used to ask myself, why the fuck we folding shirts like this? Why the hell we making these hospital corners so tight, 45 degrees, folding the bed back exactly 6 inches, like it's the size of a damn dollar bill? Why are we doing this? But all them little things we do, they build in our mind up for some real discipline. And now, man, all that discipline is gone. That's what we missing. Self-discipline. For real. It all started with them Rocky and Rambo movies back then. That was like my father figure, you feel me? But then I met this dude named Scott Guerin. Man, this dude had a crazy ass story parachute accident. A guy crashed through his chute and this dude fell 13,000 feet, damn near to his death. Parachute collapsed and he hit the ground at 120 miles an hour. Shit was wild, man. Even got a nasty ass picture in a book to prove it. So a couple years later, I run into this dude at a Civil Air Patrol camp. Ain't no kid that was fazed by him but me. I was like, hey, this is something special. I mean, Rambo was my dude back in the day, so when I saw this guy, I was like, damn, this is the real life Rambo. He came out with his throat all cut up, had a trach in his neck, and I was like, my God, this dude been through some shit. He talked like Clint Eastwood, all hardcore and shit, and told us his story. I started following this dude around, but he didn't even know it. For a week, I watched him do push-ups, flutter kicks, all that. I was thinking, man, this dude got real strength. See, I was looking for strength the whole life. I ain't have none. My dad beat the living shit out to me, took away all my strength. I was strong as a kid, but protecting my mom from that monster broke me down. Every time I tried to stand up, he beat the fuck out to me. And you know what? Every man wants courage, wants strength. At least I did. I searched for it everywhere. And when I saw a strong dude, I thought maybe he could teach me something. He ain't know nothing about me though. Time went on. I left school, but that dude stayed in my mind. We had no money, man. At one point, we lived in a $7 a month government apartment. Then we moved to a $200 spot. I was hustling. Even ran up a $500 phone bill searching for answers. And back then, that was some serious cash. My mom wanted to kill me for that, but I was just trying to find my way. I was on a mission to find Scott Guerin. And let me tell you, this was back before Google was even a thing. No search engines, no easy way to track folks down. I was just out here calling up Air Force bases like a damn detective. Y'all know Scott Guerin, and folks on the other end were like, who the hell is Scott Guerin? I'm like, he's a pararescue man, a PJ. They didn't know what the hell I was talking about because there ain't many pararescue men out there. So I started pinpointing the bases that had PJ's ace. Finally, I get a lead, Key West, Florida. Turns out he's a scuba instructor down there. I left a message, and when he called back, got a hold of my mom's, I couldn't believe it. This man actually called me back. First thing I asked him was, hey man, can I come stay with you for a week? He was like, who the fuck are you? He didn't know me from a can of paint. But somehow, this dude let me come stay with him for a whole week. Now, let me tell you, in that week, I think he said maybe 4 words to me tops. We did PT together, but I didn't need him to talk much. He wasn't the type to run his mouth. He was an instructor, so I'd go with him to scuba school. While he was teaching, I'd just be sitting on the couch for 10 damn hours waiting. Then he'd come back, pick me up, and we'd go for a run. After that, we'd head home. Every day we ate fish because that man would be out there in the ocean hunting lobster. Now, I hate the water, scared of it, but if this dude was going in, then shit, I'm going in too. And when I left there, I knew one thing for sure, that's what I wanted to be. If I had been born with a silver spoon, with everything handed to me, maybe life would have been easy. But knowing where I came from, the shit I had to go through and where I'm at now, just because I was able to push a few more doors open, that's what frustrates me about other folks. It's not that I want to live in the past, but I know I can go back there. And I know others can go there too. That's the thing about me. I know now that I've got the ability to tap into this place where I'm hyper-focused, where I can pull off some pretty crazy feats. Not because I'm some kind of superhero, but because I open my mind to what's possible. Most people fail in life because they're scared of what everyone around them is thinking. And that's 100% facts. We live our lives by the story other folks write for us, instead of writing our own damn narrative. When I first hit up a recruiter talking about I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, I was damn near 300 pounds, 297 to be exact. That first recruiter took one look at me and straight up said, you ain't gonna make it, man. What he was really doing was projecting his own weak ass energy onto me. He knew damn well he couldn't be no Navy SEAL, so he figured how the hell is this big black dude gonna make it? See, I was only the 36th black man to ever make it through in over 70 years. In his mind, he couldn't even see it for himself, so he definitely couldn't see it for me. That's what you call projection. A lot of folks out here, especially the negative ones, all they do is project how they feel onto others. They got this toxic energy, and instead of keeping it to themselves, they want to spread that shit around. That's why there's so many negative ass people walking this earth, scared to even try something new, because they've been told by other folks not to bother. Why even try, man? Just chill, relax. Why you gotta be so crazy, so obsessed? All that talk just feeds what I call the quitting mind. Your mind starts saying, I'm tired, I deserve a break, and before you know it, you've talked yourself out to even trying. The biggest obstacle in this world ain't even yourself, it's other people in your head. They got you on some puppet strings, controlling your life without you even realizing it. But once I learned how to talk to myself the right way and I cleared out all that bullshit from my mind, I transformed. I went from being that insecure, dumbass kid who stuttered every time he saw somebody to a man who could do all the things they said I couldn't, just because I finally took control of my own damn mind. When you reach that point where you truly don't give a fuck about what other people think, you become dangerous, real dangerous. And I don't mean you stop caring about your goals or your life. Nah, I'm talking about not giving a fuck about how folks see you, how you walk, how you talk, how you dress, or what you want to do with your life. Growing up, I didn't want to tell nobody I wanted to join the military. Why? Because I was scared of what my black friends might think, scared of what other people would say about me. So I kept quiet, didn't do what I wanted to do, all because I let their opinions shackle my mind. And that's the worst prison you can put yourself in, letting other people's thoughts control your life. Look, you might be worried that not caring could turn you cold. Like maybe you won't give a damn about what your fiance or your kids think. But here's the thing, you got to understand what not caring really means. If your fiance and kids don't believe in you, then you might have chosen the wrong people to be in your corner. That's real talk. And your support system got to be on point. If I tell my fiance I want to do something and she says, I don't think you should do that, I got to listen, but I also got to understand where she's coming from. Is she saying it out to fear or is it out to real concern? You need folks in your circle who back you up, but also keep it real with you. My circle is tight as hell, man, small and hand-picked. I don't need people who just pat me on the back for waking up in the morning. Hell nah. I need folks who are honest, who tell me the truth, even when it stings. Because that's the only way I'm going to grow. Honest and truthful, that's what you need in your corner. No bullshit. You need someone in your corner who keeps it real, who done been through some shit, and who owns up to their own life. That's the kind of person you want on your team. Somebody who ain't afraid to say, yo, you being real stupid with this shit, man. This ain't it. Or you slacking today, you ain't out here hustling, that's who you need by your side. You don't need a whole crowd though. Nah, you gotta be picky as hell about who you let close. Don't surround yourself with folks just trying to kiss your ass. Fuck that. Be choosy about who's in your circle. And yeah, you gonna listen to them, right? You have to. One of the best things about me is I'm open-minded to the right folks, but I don't respect a whole lot of people. Because how the hell am I supposed to respect you if you ain't grinding every damn day? And I ain't talking about just hitting the gym. I mean, really out there hustling and making moves. So if you don't understand how I'm living, how the fuck am I supposed to respect you? You got to be a hard worker, period. You got to bust your ass. That's how you earn my respect. If you out here grinding every day, now you got something to say in my eyes. But if you just out here talking shit, living that bullshit life of talking, come on, man, I see right through that. But if I see you every damn day pushing to be better, going through the struggles to level up, you got my attention. I respect that. So yeah, respect is the first thing, no doubt.